Hi everyone, it's meteorologist Terry Swails. I'm in the home studio today, so I have a little weekend weather briefing for you here. Before I do get to that though, did want to touch on something very near and dear to my heart. As you know, Kirby Lee Swails passed away here in the past 24 hours. He was a good old pal of mine for 18 years, and I'm just so absolutely blown away by the response that I've gotten from all of you out there. Probably 300 and some messages of sympathy and a lot more notes on the site as well. So I want you all to know how much that's appreciated, not only by me, but my wife. Kirby, being around for 18 years, was a dear part of the family, and we'll miss him, but he's definitely in a better place right now. Getting to the weather. We've got some clouds in our skies here right now, but that should be changing, if not late this afternoon, tonight. You can see that we're going to get some clearing in our skies, and the overall weather pattern is now flipping to more of a zonal flow across the country, and that's going to be important because it's going to bring some warmer temperatures into the Midwest here as we go into the next 2 to 3 days. And I think by Monday there's an excellent chance that a lot of locations will be in the 50s, even some 60s will be possible down to the south of Iowa and Missouri and the Plain states. So there you can see on the 500 millibar chart, the jet stream I'm talking about is really screeching in across the country from west to east. That's quite a departure from where we've been much of the winter. We don't have that strong northwest flow to deliver the cold air into the country. So I expect to see that Pacific air moderate pretty nicely around here, and we'll continue to melt some snow. And actually, this is the temperature anomaly on Monday. And all across Iowa and southern Wisconsin and northern Illinois, this would be a lot warmer than what it's showing. But you see that little band of blue there? That's actually where temperatures are going to be colder because there's such a large snowpack. But if we didn't have the snow on the ground, a lot of locations would be looking at temperatures that are, well, perhaps 15 degrees above normal. As it is across southern and western Iowa and points west and south where the snow is going to be pretty well chewed up, the temperatures there are going to respond nicely to this warm Pacific air. Just look at some of these high temperatures here. That's a day at the beach, I'm telling you, out to the west of us. Lots of 60s and some 70s starting to show up in the Plain states. So the March sun is starting to do its thing out there now, and it's really warming up the temperature. So I think we're kind of breaking the back of this winter around here, slow but sure, in the next few days. And again, I did want to show you this though. We're going to go back out now to about next weekend, and here's the 500 millibar flow. And one thing that's noticeable here is that the jet stream is buckling once again. This is kind of going to be the pattern, I think, through the month of March. We'll get the ridge to go up in the west, and the jet stream buckles, and then it sort of flattens again, and the trough shifts east. And we're going to go through this cycle where we warm up and then cool down and kind of back and forth, which is really pretty typical for spring around here, but that's kind of the way I'm seeing it happening here. So by next weekend, things will turn cooler once again. And this is the 8 to 16 day temperature anomaly. So after our little warm up here, things will be cooling off once again. And if you average out the temperatures in the next 8 to 16 days, you can see much of the eastern United States, especially from the Mississippi River east, expected to go below normal once again. And so even though temperatures will be warmer here as we go into March, we're still going to have a struggle, I think, getting our highs to normal levels. But I sure don't see any of those really wicked Arctic blasts, and we've probably had the worst of the cold as far as this winter is concerned. Now with this particular pattern, I just don't see a lot of storminess or moisture around the Midwest. This is the precipitation forecast here, which goes out 16 days. And this is the actual anomaly, and you can see it's going to be pretty dry really across a large portion of the country. We're looking at precipitation over that period that's going out to, I think, what is it, 192 hours. That's going to be about 3/4 of an inch less than what you would typically expect to see. So that's less rain or snow, however you want to stack it up there. Now then, we've talked also in the past few days about a storm that's trying to get organized for early next week. We're looking at Tuesday here, and the GFS does show a storm down in Missouri. The Euro and GEM are also indicating that potential, but it's just not completely phased, and the moisture is still a little bit lacking by the time this thing tries to get organized. But you can definitely see it's trying to develop a little bit of snow there in northern Missouri, southeastern Iowa, west central Illinois. I expect that we may see a little bit of rain and snow around, but overall, the heavier accumulations look like they'll certainly avoid my area, and really nothing showing up that's all that impressive on the GFS here going out 192 hours. There is a little stripe of snow there from northern Missouri on through the Ohio Valley, But I don't see anything that looks overly impressive until the storm gets out to the east where it can get more moisture and get better organized. So right now, not seeing much in the way of snow, and that probably makes a lot of you happy. We've had over 62 inches of that here in the Quad Cities. Been a pretty impressive winter for snow, no question about that. And one more thing as we wrap it up here, this is just the GFS meteogram, and you can see the freezing line in the horizontal bar where it says 32 degrees running from west to east there. Notice the high temperatures for the Quad Cities here. Most every day there, looking at highs above the freezing mark, and then of course we've got our big warm up on Monday when we're looking at highs that should be well up into the 50s. Then we take that little dive there as that storm comes in Tuesday and Wednesday, but you'll notice the temperatures rebound quickly in that pattern that's going to be oscillating back and forth with that northwest flow. So after a cool down, a warm up again before next weekend, and then we drop back down as that trough starts to dig into the middle of the country towards next weekend. So lots of ups and downs in temperatures, but sure a lot more ups than we've seen in quite some time around the area. So overall, that's kind of the way things shake out here today. As always, roll weather and have yourself a terrific weekend.